Now, it's just coming up to 8:30. Let's speak now to the government and the Housing Secretary, Steve Reid. Good morning to you, Mr. Reid.
Well, Steve...
Good morning, good to be with you.
It's good to see you, Steve, in a new job, right? You're in a new job, you're doing the housing...
about a month in now,
Yeah. And the thing I like about you, Steve, if the bells stop there, like Quasimodo with the bells, the bells. I just wanted to say, look, you understand your brief. I do get that, and you care very passionate about things. Anytime I've ever spoke to you about previous briefs and whatever, and this is a heck of a responsibility that has been landed on your shoulders. Now, the first thing people are going to say to you, myself included, is you've set targets that are unachievable. They're unachievable. Let's be realistic. Are you going to have to amend them?
Well, they're not unachievable. I hear what you're saying. I know it's a stretching target, but we've got a housing crisis in this country. We've seen the number of people sleeping rough in doorways and under bridges double over the last 10 years. We've got families stuck in temporary accommodation. They call it temporary, but actually it's a single room, and often families are stuck in there for a year with kids sharing a bed, the parents sleeping on the sofa in a single room, and you've got young people who are unable to make the dream of owning their own home come true in the way that I was when I was younger. And we can't lock...
No, but how do you build them? How do you get the whole system moving?
Good point. Well, the problem is, what is blocking homes being built? It's our planning system. It's too slow, it's too cumbersome. Blockers can too easily stop homes going ahead. Now, I'll give you an example. There's a council in Essex called Rochford Council, and they blocked 600 homes from going ahead. It then went to the courts on appeal, got overturned 2 years later, and then we got spades in the ground and we got cranes in the sky, and the homes got built. But what about all the cost of that delay? What about the fact that for 2 years, homes that people could have bought weren't being built? So we need to get councils taking the right decision and not unreasonable decisions on blocking homes when they could go ahead. So we're changing the rules. We're going to have more powers to stop councils taking that kind of decision. Of course, I believe, and it will always be the case, that residents should have a say over what can and can't be built in their local area. But we can't have councils just blocking the homes that then close down the dream of home ownership for millions of our fellow citizens in this country.
Using the internet without a VPN, a virtual private network, is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes is one unlucky moment to cost you a lot of cash. This video's sponsor is Private Internet Access. They are the VPN to help keep you safe. Click the link in the description below to find out why over 30 million people have downloaded PIA to protect themselves online. A virtual private network is an app that hides your IP address and helps keep your data private. When you're browsing the internet at home, you give up a large amount of data to businesses, to shops, and indeed to social media giants too. Hackers have the ability to steal your personal data with ease, including sensitive information such as passwords, keystrokes, and even your personal photos. Private Internet Access helps protect your personal data by encrypting your internet connection to keep your data out of the hands of cyber criminals. And it's not just hackers either to be concerned about. Information can be censored too. When Canada passed their C18 bill, social media giants decided to ban news content on their platforms. But PIA can protect your ability to consume the news and content you love. Private Internet Access is available for Windows users, Mac OS, Android, Linux, iOS, and you can use one PIA subscription to protect an unlimited amount of devices. And we've got a huge GBNews discount for you too. Click the link in this video's description and you'll get a massive 83% off PIA. That's under £2 a month, the price of a coffee, and you'll get an extra 4 months completely free on top. Also, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee too. Visit piavpn.com/GBnews to start protecting yourself digitally today.
You've promised to build 1.5 million new homes in the next 5 years. We're 1 year down, about 186,000 homes or so. I mean, it's off to a slow start, isn't it? How are we going to speed this up? I mean, is that pledge even feasible at this stage?
Yeah, no, because what we're seeing is the tail end of what was going on under the previous government when house building collapsed by a fifth in their final years, because it takes amount of time before the application goes in, then it gets approved, and then the building begins. It does take more than a year before you see the change, but we're already seeing the number of starts going up by 29% in the last year. It needs to go up faster than that, and that's the reason I'm bringing forward in the House of Lords behind me this week new changes to the legislation that will stop councils unreasonably blocking homes that could have been going ahead. It will stop applications being timed out in the courts. You know, you only get a certain number of months when an application for a new home has been built before it gets timed out. And if it's locked up in the courts in an appeal, that can stop it and you get back to square one. So we're going to stop the clock when the case goes to the court, so it doesn't have to go back to square one again if the developer wins on appeal. But we need to get those homes built because we can't deal with the housing crisis if we don't.
No, we can't. But Steve, from unreasonably stopping them being built to unreasonably giving them away. Now, I know our viewers and listeners, they're concerned that when these houses are built, when these homes are built, it'll be nobody that is currently living in the United Kingdom at the minute or in England that will actually get them or see them. They think they will go to a lot of the migrant population that are just newly coming into the country.
No, I mean, if you look at who is buying new homes, the vast majority of them are going to British citizens, and asylum seekers who have come here illegally are not allowed access to social housing. So the vast majority of these homes will, of course, and quite rightly, go to people who are British citizens and already live in this country. We need to get these homes built. Local people will always have a say. We want local councils to develop something called a local plan, and that means local people get to say what kind of homes can be built, how big they can be, what they look like, how many GP surgeries or schools will be required. All of that gets agreed democratically, and then if an application for a house building comes along and it's in line with what local people have said they would accept, why should it not go ahead rather than be held up for years and years and years, denying people the dream of their own home to live in?
Stamp duty, like Kemi Badenoch is pledging if she were to be elected.
Oh, the sound's gone.
I think you have to say.
Mr. Reid, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. Sorry, the sound went off for a moment.
It's good we've got you back. Would you be interested in scrapping stamp duty, as Kemi Badenoch is pledging, if she were to be elected as Prime Minister?
Well, of course, the Conservatives were in power for 14 years and house building fell off the edge of a cliff. So they did nothing about that while they were in power. Now what she's doing is making a commitment to spend billions of pounds that she hasn't got on an unfunded promise. Now, I remember when they did this before, there was a woman called Liz Truss who was... Well, do you remember when Liz Truss was Prime Minister? She made multi-billion-pound unfunded spending cuts. It crashed the economy. It sent mortgages skyrocketing. It sent rents rising. It sent prices in the shops up, and people lost their jobs. The Conservatives, instead of learning from that mistake, want to do it all over again. The Conservatives in government couldn't find savings of the kind they're talking about. Now, magically in opposition, they're suddenly telling us they can. Yeah. We know it's a fantasy. We know they crashed the economy before. They're not going to be allowed to do it again.
Steve, it's just a curious one for me, just in 5 seconds or so. What percentage of those houses would be social housing, which I think is very, very important and very, very needed?
Well, absolutely right. It depends where they are, but we're looking for 20 to 40% of it to be social and affordable, because of course we need to build the homes that this country needs.
Of course we do. Steve, as I say, big weight on your shoulders, big officer responsibility. I know you'll handle it well, and I wish you every luck and every success, because the country needs these houses, it has to be said. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Reid.